Grafana. And in doing so, we're going to talk about Prometheus, Loki, Prometheus, and a few other things to go ahead and track your metrics and capture your logs, build customized dashboards, and have it all right in your home lab. So with that being said, let's go cover it step by step. This way you have a full understanding of what you need to do and get it deployed in your environment today. So first, before we go in the actual step by step, I just kind of want to show you exactly what you will be getting at the end of this video. So here is a custom dashboard that we had set up, and this is gathering metrics from our home lab. Now we have this dashboard right now is pulling directly from our host that is hosting Grafana. But in this video, we're also going to show you how you could pull it or push it from an external server in your home lab. Now this up here is going to be pulled from Loki, and that's going to be where your logs come into play. And in this case, Prometheus is going to go ahead, push those logs up into Loki, and then Loki is able to get this ingested into Grafana, and that's how you're getting that visualization here. Now down here at the bottom is your metrics, and that's all going to be coming from Prometheus. Pretty straightforward, but there's a lot of options even within your dashboard, right? So if you want to go ahead and edit this, for instance, the new panel, we can go ahead and make it whatever we want. Let's say this is server 1 or host logs, and you could always change this query too to have different, maybe look at only syslog. In this case, I believe this one is just setting up, looking at everything within my job called var logs, which is what we'll talk about in the instructions. But you go ahead and view all these different options here. You can make them smaller, large. You could even add pages to it. So instead of scrolling down, you go left to right. There's a lot of different options here, obviously being Grafana. And down here is where you would kind of build out your queries. And this is something that we'll also talk about. But as you can see, Loki is the data source. And then we are filtering out for job and var logs. But we could take it a step further. Let's say we want to look for a particular file name. You go ahead and do that. And then we could go ahead and select authlog or syslog. And then a few others once we build out that next portion of it. So that's going to be it as far as just giving you an understanding of what you're going to get at the end of this video. I do plan to cover this more and more on this channel as far as Grafana goes, and different options and settings that go with it. So if that is something that you're interested in, definitely subscribe to the channel, turn those notifications on. But in the meantime, let's continue on with this video. So how I'm using it in my environment is I'm using Docker Compose files, and that is pretty standard going forward. Now how you deploy it can vary. In my case, I am using Portainer. Obviously, you could use it, just in a standalone instance where you go ahead and spin up a Docker container and do it that way, or even in a Kubernetes, which is something that I do plan to cover in a future video as I build up this home lab. But in this case, we are deploying it in Portainer, and that is something I guess that I could cover real quick, and I do cover it in my other videos as well. So if you go into my Portainer instance, you will see that we have a few different stacks, and that's all integrated within GitOps or within our GitLab instance. And as you can see here too at the bottom, we have a test Grafana stack and a test lab stack. Those are going to be the two that are going to be that we're going to be particularly focused in on today. Now, if we go back to the Docker Compose files, it's going to be pretty straightforward for those that have maybe done some reading on this in the past. So I'll kind of breeze through this, but if you do have any questions, definitely drop them down below. So here's the Grafana Docker Compose file, and we're going to have 3 different services. Actually, we're going to have 4 different services. So we're going to have Grafana. We're going to use the latest image tag. We're going to name it Grafana Lab. We're going to expose these ports. That's just to allow us to log into the web UI. We're going to create some default credentials, admin. And this obviously could change, especially in Portainer, you could set up like environment variables. But in this case, for this lab, this will do just fine. Volumes, this is something that's going to come into play later on. It's very important, especially within Portainer, is that we have to mount some files as volumes so we can reference them when everything gets spun up, and I'll explain that in a few minutes. Grafana is going to depend on Prometheus and Loki. Without these two, then Grafana is essentially useless. We have the Prometheus. It's going to be the latest. Container name, ports. Again, we're going to expose 9090. Volumes. Again, this is going to be the configuration. We're going to mount that as a volume so we could access it within the container. And so when we spin up Prometheus, we could go ahead and use that configuration that we had developed locally inside of our container instead of caking it into our Prometheus image. Here we got the command, and then we're going to go ahead and just specify that config file, which I just talked about, which is right here. And then we have Loki. Again, we're just going to use the Loki image. In this case, we're using 2.90, but I don't think that would matter too much. We have ports 3100. This is going to be important when you want to go ahead and send logs to Loki. So this definitely needs to be exposed, and I'll talk about that when we start talking about Prometheus and external servers. Again, we have the Loki config.yaml file that will be mounted as a volume, so that could be accessed. And then we specify in the command the local config.yaml file. And then last but not least, we have the Prometheus, and that's going to go ahead and collect the logs and send it to Loki. So in this case, we're going to be mounting on the host itself. We're going to get var log, and we're going to mount it to var log. Again, there's a configuration configuration there and the command. At the very bottom, we're going to mount or, list those volumes that we had just talked about. In my case, I have another test lab that I use to, test out services. This may vary in your use case, but just to give you an idea of what I'm doing in this, I have a base image built out with some basic packages, and that is something that we talked about in another video, and I can link that down in the description as well. But not too much going on there. You could pretty much take an Ubuntu image, and that will be just fine. Ports, these do not matter for this particular use case. This is something else. 22 is just our SSH port, but I had to use a different one, and 300 is irrelevant to what we're doing today. The volumes, go ahead and we're going to specify test lab-logs is going to be for the var log here on the local host. And then for Prometheus, this is kind of where that's going to come into play. We're going to, again, in this case, we're going to use the latest Prometheus image. We're going to name it Prometheus Test Lab, and we're going to mount the test lab logs volume that we just talked about inside of our Prometheus instance, and that's going to allow us to get access to that, and it's going to bring over those files. Again, we have the Prometheus config, and I'll show you that in just a second, and then the same command, and then the test lab logs. So again, this is going to be the test lab, the external server that we're going to go ahead and use as an example on how to send logs up into our main Grafana instance or main Grafana server. All right, so now we're going to cover the configuration files that we are using within our services, our Docker containers. So in this case, this is going to be the test lab prometheus-config.yaml file, and this is going to be used to push the logs up into Loki from that external server that we just talked about. The reason why I said that 3100 is it was important earlier is because here we're going to go ahead and reference that Loki server 192.168.1.107 with that port 3100. And here is the endpoint that we are going to be using. The job name is going to be system. Targets is going to be localhost. And then we're going to go ahead and say jobs var logs host test lab 2. And then this is the important part here. This is where the volume that we had mounted from the host into this mount here. So quickly to just cover it again, essentially that this container here is going to be using the logs that are in the test lab container due to that volume that is mounted down here. So without that volume, Prometheus wouldn't have access to it, and then we wouldn't be able to push it up into our Loki instance. So real quick, we'll kind of cover the other configurations, and I'll also have this down in a GitLab repository that you guys can go ahead and pull down locally and play around with yourself. This is going to be the Prometheus config for the actual where the Grafana is running. So the 192.168.1.107 is going to be my server that has all of these various microservices running within it, and this is going to be the Prometheus config here is going to be used to pull in that var log and anything with a log in it, and then it's going to send it up to the Loki, which is the Loki that's running on the server itself. Prometheus, pretty straightforward here. These are some of the basic configurations to go ahead and collect those metrics. And in this case, we'll cover it in a different video, but it is pretty straightforward if you want to collect metrics from an external server. In this case, we're just going to go ahead and do that for Prometheus and Loki. But for this particular configuration, it is just using inside of its internal network within Docker. It's going to go ahead and reach out to the Prometheus server, which is itself, and then the Grafana server or container that we have spun up within this internal network on port 3000 and get those metrics as well. All right, and then we'll take a look at the Loki config. I'm not going to cover every single piece of information here. You could easily find it out for yourself, and you go ahead and copy it, like I said, and play with it. But in this case, the auth enabled, obviously, if it is set to false, Loki will not require authentication to go ahead and use it. Server, here's the listen port 3100, as I had talked about earlier. The ingester is pretty much controlling how the logs are ingested and written into chunks. If we scroll down and we look at the schema config, the store here, my understanding is it is just a lightweight indexing format. Object store, this is a local file system, so it's not storing it anywhere like an S3 or anything like that. The period is 24 hours, so that is when a new index file is created. Just some cache stuff here. Directory Loki chunks, that is probably pretty important, at least to get an understanding of what that is. That is just where the log chunks are going to be stored. And then you have some limits here, so that's pretty straightforward as well. But that's pretty much it as far as the Loki configuration, and you can go ahead and read about each individual configuration to get a better idea what that's doing. All right, and then lastly is going to be the data sources, and that's essentially what we saw before with the Loki. So we have two different data sources. That's going to be Prometheus, and that's going to be using that internal service that we talked about, Prometheus, and that's at 9090, and then Loki at 3100. And that's pretty straightforward. And just to remind you what I was talking about, so if we pull up Grafana again, the data sources, these are the different data sources, and these are the two that we loaded within that configuration, Loki and Prometheus. All right, so once you go ahead and you spin up those two Docker Compose files, again, it depends on how you're deploying it, and maybe that's something that we can cover in a future video, but I've covered this many times now on how to deploy a stack within Portainer. I could do that really quickly if that's something that you're interested in, again, as well. But what I do is I go ahead, I deploy a stack, I click on repository authentication. Using the personal access token and the username, I'm able to authenticate with my GitLab instance. Here's the repository URL, going to be on the main branch. Then we have some Docker Compose files. This is going to be the path with inside that GitLab repository. So in this case, home lab, Docker Compose files, test, and then the Grafana YAML. And that's going to be pretty much it. And then I go ahead and deploy that stack. If everything goes well, it will go ahead and deploy it. And you would do the same thing for the test lab. But then if you go back into it, you should be able to get information about the different containers that are now spun up from those images. And in this case, these are the different IP addresses of those containers itself. But for those that have a web UI like Grafana Lab, you go ahead and hit it 3001, which is what we were doing right here. 192.168.1.107 3001. That will get us to our Grafana instance. But like I said, we have the Loki, Prometheus, and then the Prometheus. So depending on how you set it up, you go ahead and deploy it within Portainer, or you could deploy it on just your local server. Once you do that and you log in using admin, you're going to get brought to the home screen here, and you're not going to have really any dashboards or anything. So what you could do here, and there's a lot of tools and settings that you play around with, but just go to dashboards, create a new dashboard, and then we could start adding a visualization. In here, we're going to select the data source. In this case, we'll go ahead and we'll look at the Loki, and this is just going to be one card on that dashboard, or one panel on that dashboard. And then here, we're going to have different label filters. Again, this is the data source that we had just selected. And in this case, we're going to select a job, var logs, run query, and that's going to give us everything within that job. But if we wanted to narrow it down even more, again, we could do file name, and then we could select out of these two, because those are the two that are in that log. And just to show you another example, so for that external server that we had discussed, like I said at the beginning, or at some point in this video, there is some indexing that's every 24 hours. So if no logs have taken place or updated within the last 24 hours on that external server, you will not see that here, which is what I just noticed with the one of the labels not showing up. So what I did is I went into that server and I just created a fake log, and that generated the action to go ahead and send it to Loki, and then now it is in our Grafana server. So now if I go ahead and click on host, we should now see that we have now test lab 2, and that's going to be our external server. And then again, we can filter it even more, file name, and we should have some additional logs here. And this is the fake log that we had just created. So if we go ahead and run that query, we should see that we have a fake log with that sample text here. And that's going to be referenced in this Prometheus config that we had talked about. So here is the host label, test lab 2, and that's going to be using that volume that we had mounted at var log test lab, and then that is any logs inside of there. All right, and that's going to close out today's video. In this video, we talked about Grafana, Prometheus, Prometheus, Loki, and the whole process to getting that set up within Docker. There are multiple ways to go ahead and deploy this and get this set up. Like I had said, in my home lab, in my environment, I use Portainer at this time, but I'm going to go ahead and eventually switch over to Kubernetes, and that is something that I'll cover in a different video. But you don't even need to do all that. You could go ahead and do it just on your server with Docker installed. Go ahead and spin up and Docker Compose installed, spin up these containers, these microservices, and do this in your test lab or in your home lab yourself. I'm going to go ahead and post this down in the description below. So go ahead, play around with it. If you have any questions, drop a comment, let me know, and I'll do my best to get you an answer. I hope you were able to take something away, and as always, never stop learning.